just a quick moment.
Is Buddha there?
Yeah, she's just sitting here. We get going, I'll pick her up and put her in the camera. Yeah, she's been in here all morning. Yeah,
Okay, hi Buddha.
our girl, our girl.
Welcome, 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 beautiful hearts. Thank you for joining us in this very special event. We're here talking about sacred sites, stargates, and star family for an upcoming event in Sedona, Arizona, and the Grand Canyon. I'm Loren Gailey, and I welcome you to this very sacred space. I'm here with my co-host Lori Rayon and some beautiful speakers who will be joining us on site, Michelle Karen and San Ra. I want to welcome all of these beautiful hearts to this platform. And let's start with San Ra and Lemurian singing.
Thank you, Loren. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm going to sing the Latte Na first, which is the song of unity. So it's very simple. If you don't know it, you can learn it and sing along if you want. Latte na, latte na, latte na. Latte na, latte na, latte na. Latte na, latte na, latte na, na. Latte na, latte na, na. Latte na, latte na, latte na. Latte na, latte na, latte na. Latte na, latte na, latte na, na. Latte na, latte na, na. Latte na, latte na, latte na. Latte na, latte na, latte na. Latte na, latte na, latte na, na. Latte na, latte na, na. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina, la la tina, la la tina. La la tina. Ooh.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
That really feels like home. And Sanra, you have sung that. My goodness, it has to be 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
probably. It was 2011, I think. So,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
So, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Wonderful, huh?
And it still resonates with my heart. I sing it when I'm hiking and or maybe even just cleaning, and it's so Lemurian. It's our Lemurian
Beautiful.
codes. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm,
Thank you. Thank you,
mm.
Sanra. I
Thank
want to
you.
welcome my co-host, Lori. Lori, please open for us and share the inspiration behind this gathering that's going to be taking place.
Yeah, this was definitely soul guided for me to create this, and then I asked Lauren to co-create it with me. Um, I've had many incredible sacred experiences in Sedona. It's where I studied the flower of life and became a flower of life teacher. Many journeys into the rocks and down by the rivers, and then probably 20 trips in this lifetime, maybe more, I don't know, to the Grand Canyon. It's a very special and unique place for me. I've had a lot of different miracles there, including watching my cat go over the edge.
That's
Puda in
so
a
cool.
previous incarnation, and she had me take her there, and I part of me didn't really believe she was going to do what she said she was going to do, but she did. But she came back, coated in light, glowing with blue light. We can talk more about that. Like, I'll certainly talk about it at the event. But uh, these two locations are really sacred and offer what I call rare opportunities to awaken the ancient memories within us, to connect us to our star lineage, connect us to our star family, and bring us into this place that's, to me, it's like ultimate peace. When you go there, the vibration, it's like, I remember Drunvalo Melchizedek saying there's a dome over Sedona because it's the golden city. It's actually considered in many realms an ascension city. That underneath those red rocks is the golden light of ascension. That eventually the rocks will peel back and the golden light will come forth. So, if you haven't gone to Sedona in your life, perhaps put that on your radar. It's really amazing. I feel our soul codes will be activated, expanded. We'll be working with the earth grids, the elemental beings, our connection to the Lemurian portals, our first lifetime on the planet. It's a bridge. We're creating a bridge between heaven and earth, past and future, so to speak. And it's very exciting. It's just an incredible opportunity, I think, for not just for us as speakers, for anyone who wants to move into that energy of expansion and understanding our deep, deep connection to nature. Okay. So welcome everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. And so you heard from San Ra, a Lemurian priestess of 13, and she sings the Lemurian songs that are truly activating. And so we also have Michelle Karen with us. Let's hear from Michelle. Michelle, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You've got interesting insights on this whole area.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Lauren. Lauren. You have almost the same
I
name.
know, we're the elves.
I'm meant to meet. You are soul sisters. I love Sedona and the Grand Canyon. I remember last time I was probably 13 when I went there, and I remember the awe I felt in that place. It's just so you really realize we really realize there how small we are and how vast the universe is and how magical it is. And what I heard of that story. We heard of that story of artifacts having been found and then suppressed, in the Grand Canyon. And I started getting really curious about it because of this event. And after talking to you, Lori, actually, and I started investigating, and that was part of the surprise of what I wanted to present the first day, to dig into that and what I came up or what I think happened, because they say it's Egyptian artifacts. But if you read very carefully what was initially said in 1909, it was Egyptian-like. It was not necessarily Egyptian. And I have a whole theory on what it is and what
Okay.
is there and why it was suppressed, and that this is not a hoax. I mean, the more I dug into it, the less I believe this was a hoax. It's impossible to make up a story like that. And it ties into my own experiences in Peru and Bolivia, where there are all those tunnels, those underground cities. And these are not, and I've seen them, I've actually seen them. Like, for example, in Lake Titicaca, where I've been going to Peru for 20 years. I was initiated by the Q'ero master shamans there. And I will be offering a ceremony, despacho ceremony that's extremely powerful. We'll be doing it at the house, and I'm very excited about that because we can do it outdoors, as it should be. In Peru, it's always done outdoors. And the effects of that ceremony are not just like, oh, it was a nice ceremony. It's an extremely powerful ceremony, and things actually happen after the ceremony. And I've conducted, hundreds of them by now.
I'm a witness. I've done, I think, three
And,
with you,
and things
from
happen.
coming up to your home when you were in LA, and it's profound. And it's an ancient, ancient, wonderful
Well,
ceremony that's life changing.
it is life-changing because this was transmitted by the Q'ero masters in the Andes for 500 years and probably even more, because you know, they say they go back to the Incas, but the Incas were very tall and they're very short. So I think they go even further back. And this is not, and they laughed at me when I said, well, you guys say you're coming from the Incas, but you're very short and the Incas were very tall. And they're like, and the Kero, my master Kero, you know, took off his sandals and he showed his feet, the soles of his feet. He said, it's because we walked so much. It took off some well, that's the kind of humor they have. And I love those ceremonies because they're fun and they're profound and they're transformative and things actually happen after. So it's not just like random. Things do happen. And I wanted also, because after talking with you, Lori, it gave me ideas. And I thought, and you gave me free range to talk about whatever I want, which was really nice because I don't always get that freedom. So I
Great,
thought,
yeah.
you know, a lot of people are always asking me, because I'm also, of course, as you know, an astrologer, or if you don't, now you do. And people ask me what's going to happen, where are we going, etc. And I wanted to present aspects of astrology that people don't know much about or even anything about. So I will be talking about astrocartography. I'm going to be talking about you know, how the grids of sacred geometry, how the ancient cities were actually created based on astrology and how this works. And if we could go back to that model, you know, things would go much better and we would be much more
Mm,
in harmony with the universe and we would not have those chaotic, horrible, disgusting big cities where people get depressed, get on drugs, and do all sorts of horrible things just to escape a harsh reality. And surprise, I was looking into things and I found the chart of Sedona, the founding chart of Sedona. So I will be talking about that also. And I wanted to talk in my next presentation on dreams, because that's a very,
mm,
very dear topic to
very
my heart.
powerful.
And I love dreams, and especially when we are in those sacred places, those vortexes, we dream much deeper dreams and we connect to much deeper elements of ourselves and we can travel way further. So it will be very interesting to understand and to how to understand our dreams, how to work with our dreams, how to induce dreams, with the different kinds of dreams, and all the things we can do in order to manifest more in our lives. Because if we think about it, you know, at least 1/3 of our life is spent sleeping, but
Mhm.
it's not an idle time. It's a time where things are working in us
Right,
at a deeper
right,
level,
right.
and we are accessing higher realms of consciousness. You know, it's
Wow.
not an accident that Edgar Casey was doing his channelings while he was sleeping, you know. So things do happen when we sleep. And if we can harness that energy, we are going to become more and more conscious, more and more open, and more aware of all our possibilities and tapping into everything that we are.
Right, right. I'm gonna have you pause for a minute. Loren, Vivian is here. Vivian. So I think you have to let her in. Okay. She was traveling and, initially said she couldn't be a part of this. And I said, well, maybe you can pull over the car and come in on your phone. Everybody wants to meet you. So there she is. Yay. Beautiful.
Yes,
Hi,
welcome
Vivian.
to Vivian.
See,
We
there
have
she is in the car. I was
yeah.
telling them you're traveling.
Hi.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm on the road and I'm not hearing too well, but I'm here.
Well, thank you so much for making time to meet and greet everyone.
Yes, yes, perfect, beautiful. Okay, well, Michelle, thank you. It brings up so many beautiful questions about the ancient history, and that's what will be covered when you're there. And when people are actually walking in the land, you'll be able to recall some memories there. So it's going to be very, very interesting and fascinating. So good. Let's go to San Ra. San Ra, hi. Would
Hi.
you like to share about the Lemurian connection to this area?
Yes, I think what that's going to help us do is to awaken from within Lemurian energy. So the earth itself will have encodements for us. So as we're standing on the earth, whether it's in Sedona or whether it's also in the Grand Canyon, that area. So I think our meetings are all going to be inside except for the Grand Canyon. But if there's any way we could be outside
Oh no,
in
there's two,
Sedona,
Sun Ra. There's
there's,
two. We go to Red Rock Crossing the first night.
yeah,
We
okay,
do the
okay,
water ceremony. That's on the river, and then the second
okay.
night we're going to be out on the land on this special place that we rented, and we're going to be doing a white whale initiatory ceremony. I have several people that are graduates from our school coming, and they're going to
Okay.
hold the columns of light for the white whales.
Oh, good. So these are
And then
outside.
Michelle's doing her ceremony. So
Yeah.
there's quite a bit. And then of course
Okay.
the Grand Canyon is obviously outside. So
Yeah, obvious. Okay. All right. So that's great. So I'll be able to have our body on the earth, which will be great. But we're going to be doing on day one with me something about to upgrade our cosmic endocrine system. So the physical endocrine system is what we know, all of our glands, right? But we're going to be getting energy from the priestesses and then from the earth and from the ethers, you said with a dome over it, so all that energy will be there. So this is quite an upgrade and an awakening, so that will be cool. And then the second day, the first day kind of prepares us. So the second day, it's like it's a ceremony. So the ceremony to catalyze the earth stargate grid, because we each have this kind of stargate grid within us, the Lemurian energy. We all have the Lemurian codements that will be, if anybody's coming, they have Lemurian energy. Sometimes people say to me, well, am I from Lemuria? I'll say, well, if you and me are here at the same time, 99% chance you're from Lemuria, or at least have some real roots there. So that means that we'll be opening the Lemurian and Stargate energies from within us, and then doing that to help the whole Stargate system of the Earth. I mean, even when I'm talking about it, I feel codes are already coming in and from the people here. So this is going to be, I'm very excited about it because the ceremony, it's like we all have pieces of the puzzle or fragments of the codes. So as we come together, then all these fragments are coming together to make sentences and paragraphs in the book, the book of our cosmic heritage with the collective humanity, with the Lemurian energy that we all have, because we need that Lemurian energy now to awaken further the the golden age that is upon us, that comes from us. So all of these things that are coming together with what I'm doing will connect in the ceremony we're doing, and then everything that everyone else is doing. As I see this is this grand energy of bringing together an awakening with the whales and with the astrology and with what everybody else is bringing. This is going to be an amazing event. So I'm happy to bring that Lemurian part. Yeah, thank you.
we're so happy you can lead us in that. It's
Yeah,
going to be wonderful.
it's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That just sounds fascinating. Okay, let's hear from Vivian. Vivian, she's bringing Arcturian frequencies.
Yes, definitely. It will be a pleasure to be all together in person and on the live stream when we bring us to the Star Masters and working deeply into the configuration of the new architecture of the pineal gland and how it plays a vital role into the awakening of the new holographic structure and the great energy not only of our own advanced human body, but the next level of the cosmic human body template, as well as new races coming on the planet And we are really disconnecting ourselves from the illusionary time frame of the 3D linear construct. So there's going to be two powerful activation going to bring in, and many intergalactic groups are going to come through during our. So it's a think of it as a Star Family reunion. Plus, when we go to the Grand Canyon, we're going to honor one of the eldest tribe, the Yavapai tribe, calling upon their ancestors, also the wisdom keepers, the guardians there. They're going to be working together. So it's a time totally to heal the gap between generations of star children and of all ages, all generations. We also bringing back the sacred wisdom of the star masters with the wisdom keepers on the earth through the lineages also of Aboriginal tribe, First Nations, honoring these energies. And one of the things that's becoming important is how we present ourselves. We come in our light body energy, we come as emissaries of light, and it's a time to rekindle, to reclaim those very important role that we play. So definitely being able to bring the galactics and the star masters, the great nations, and there's going to be so much many more activations. I am traveling right now, as you can see. I am on my way to Roswell, New Mexico. Uh, yes, as we speak, so the synchronicity. Yes, I always connect with the star nations there, but also I have my dear, long time friend who is a well-known retired UFO researcher. So a UFO researcher be friends with an ET hybrid. How perfect is that? So we're coming this weekend to spend time together before he prepare himself for his grand journey back to the light. So it's going to be a time of reunion, connections, friendship, and art interconnection. But also, I'm going to be communing with a lot of intergalactic beings there. They always know when I'm on site and doing whatever work they need me to do there. So we're on the way right now to Roswell as we speak.
Very exciting. I love the energy that you bring in from the Arcturians that connects us to our cosmology. You know, um, it's impossible not to awaken more when you do this type of thing or you go to these places because everything is so accelerated now with the ascension waves and the codes of creation being revealed. And oh gosh, it's an exciting time to be alive, isn't it? It's just so great. This is a deepening our personal relationship with the divine. Certainly Mother Earth, Father Son, and all of the devas. The elemental beings that are there. um, and Master Buddha speaks often of the Ancient of Days that actually lives in the Grand Canyon, one of the aspects of the great Elohim. So that's pretty exciting.
It is really exciting. It is a powerful event. I am so blessed, very, very blessed, Lori and Lauren, that you invite me to come back and do this together, especially in the great vortexes of Sedona. And Grand Canyon is such majestic. It's one of the great wonders on the planet. And the majestic beauty, the grace. It's really re-embodying the true, pure essence of humanity. We need to release the automation, non-organic technology. Humans are not cyborgs. You're not artificial AI. You are beautiful, symbiotic, divine presence of light. And human beings carry this living aura that convey the capacity to teach other beings, interdimensional beings, ancient ones everywhere, and even younger civilizations about what it feels like to live in empathic intelligence and symbiotic unification with an ecosystem like a planet, a star system with each other, with diversity of life and sentient intelligence, and also in connections to all there is, the omnipotence and omnipresence, prime creator, the energy that we carry within ourselves and who we really are, even on a profound galactic level. So we're bridging, the astral to the physical, the emotional to the ethereal. We are coming back into a more embracing the true deep multidimensionality of our capacity of who we are, our expression. And I really feel that our time together is going to bring multitude of layers and uncovering together that lotus, like a lotus flower, that bring all the petal, all the layers together and form a much bigger design. And that's what I'm sensing that our time, this conference in Sedona, with all of us, will be about, and even more.
Beautiful. Yay, huh? So exciting.
It really is. So we haven't reached the mountain range so far, so we still have some, internet connection. I was able to get in just in time. Oh, that's is so you're so beautiful. Hello, friend. Hello, Pole Master.
That's Master Puda. She
Yeah.
carries well, I should say
Hi,
Puda is an
Buddha.
aspect of South,
Yeah,
and she'll
boy.
be doing some channeling and some exciting things connecting us to what we call stargates, Uh, the energy and the information I get about the vortexes and the stargates, a lot comes through this soul who has such a wonderful memory of the origins of creation and the different timelines that created Earth. So yeah, that's right. People will be able to ask you questions, won't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Ooh-dah. Yeah. She loves to go to Arizona. Okay, you're done? Okay. That was it. Give me my stool, she says. So she's a
What
great traveler.
I can, yeah, remember from Mount Shasta when she was there with you. Um, I'm getting a signal that I'm about to do a signal here. I just want to say it's an honor to be with you. And we have also exciting news on our end as well. As you know, I'm the founder of the Octrade University, and we're coming up with our own brand app that's going to be available on Apple and Google very, very soon. So we're very excited about that too.
Wow.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Vivian, for joining us as you're traversing the planet, going to very wild sites. We can feel that energy and we send you our love. Thank you for popping in and sharing with us.
Safe,
Absolutely.
safe journey.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks. It's coming up.
See you soon. So much love to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And Lori, you spoke a little bit, but I know you've got more to say as well about your Grand Canyon experience. It's really fascinating as well.
Well, I went to the Grand Canyon for the first time when I journeyed from Nebraska, where I was living. I grew up there to Los Angeles, and then I ended up moving there with my horse. And I was actually investigating, finishing school there. I was a trick rider at the time, doing like gymnastics on my horse and part of the Buffalo Bills Wild West show. But we stopped there, and I was in love. I mean, I was in love. I looked into that canyon. There's places where you can see a mile down. Can you imagine that? And the energies that are there, and it just it takes my breath away. It takes my words away. It's so phenomenal to go there. Just very, very exciting. And we'll talk more about, well, a lot of it too through Seth about the ancientness of the canyon and what we can expect when we're there. And well, of course, we're going to be doing ceremony, and then we finish up with this bus trip where we're going to be throwing our crystals into the canyon and prayers and connecting to the ancient times. That we carry that in our DNA. Um, Buddha says the vortexes are doorways of the gods, and one of the great ancient of days actually resides in the Grand Canyon itself. So we're coming up to the South Rim. But also know, if you can't come in the physical, please come online. You'll still be able to get a lot of the information. You're hearing all these beautiful speakers. Also, Mahalia Michael will be speaking. She's actually out on a boat today. I think in Portugal. I don't know. She couldn't be here in the physical because she's on a boat, but she'll be joining us, and she has wonderful information to share too about cosmology and the dolphins and whales. And she comes in as like from a mermaid's perspective, so with the elemental energy of water. So I just can't underestimate the power of going there. When we go out to Red Rock Crossing after the first night, we're going to be listening to one of Seth's channels, which is the origin of water, and using that energy to bless the waters into the stream there that course, ripples out to the other streams and eventually meets the ocean. So I think that's important. It's one of the things I teach. We'll be doing soul renewal and vow renewal to clear any karma, emotional blockages that we still have, and bringing in more cosmology so that those codes can anchor into us as we clear with the violet flame and the whale energy. Also, the white whales that I work with are going to be doing a ceremony there on the second day. Somebody asked what days. It's June 10th, 11th, and 12th. Somebody said that. Maybe you can put the link in, honey, Loren, so people can go to the page. But the first 2 days there are activities on the land afterwards, which you can join in. And then the third day we actually travel to the Grand Canyon. So, yay! So much to experience. Which will be personal for everyone, but yet also connected to the soul group that we are, to the overall beingness of who we are. Very exciting. Maybe we can see if anybody has a question or,
I see someone with their hand up. Mary Ann, I've unmuted you. You can say hello if you intended to raise your hand. Hi.
Hi, can you see me?
We
see
can
your-
hear you. We can hear you, goddess.
Okay. Let's see. How do I?
Let's see. I'm going to promote you to a panelist and then we can see you. Okay? Okay. As she joins us again, I just want to say flying over the Grand Canyon is just as spectacular. I don't think it's as spectacular as being there, but you can see from a bird's eye view how grand it is. And something happened on this planet. Was it the Great Flood? Yeah, it's amazing. There you are. Hi, Marianne.
Hi. This sounds really exciting. I'm just wondering how much is it going to cost to be part of it?
you come in person, it's $4.95, I think,
Or
which
not?
includes all the activities. And if online, it's $197.
197? Okay.
And both packages, of course, include the replay. So you'll be able to revisit the speakers and processes and so forth. So
Okay. Yeah, it's on my bucket list to go there.
good.
Yeah.
I hope you can join us.
Me too. Thank you.
You're
It's my
welcome.
birthday today.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Okay. So that's good for you to share this new solar return with us. And
Mhm.
we wish you a lot of love and wishes of well-being and prosperity and joy for your new solar year coming up. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Good. Great. All right. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Nope, that's it.
Cool.
Anybody
Good.
else
All
have a
right.
question?
Anyone else?
A
Questions?
comment? Yeah, here's your chance.
So, okay, let's see. Some of the, Michelle, you were saying something, and I want to highlight the fact that the Grand Canyon, as we know, something happened there, right? You can see it from the sky as you fly over in a plane. And there are so many stories. Like supposedly there's a Sphinx in the Grand Canyon because it looks like the Sphinx. And there's sphinxes around our planet in other places. Michelle, you were saying Bolivia and even Romania in the Bucegi Mountains. And then there's a book that, and I'm okay, Rampa. Anyway, there's a book about a Tibetan who was a walk-in, and
Yeah.
there's tunnels that go from the Sphinx to Egypt and
Mhm.
inner Earth.
Mhm.
So can we tie that all together?
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
cool.
You know, because when we look at different civilizations around the world, like for example, I'm not going to pronounce it well, forgive me, the Aborigine in Australia and the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, and the boats, you know, made of reeds on Lake Titicaca, they are exactly the same, with exactly the same design, the same measurements, everything.
Mm.
Well, these are vastly different places on the planet. So, how did that happen? And the only way we can understand that this happened is that they came from the same source and that went into different places. So there's, of course, the Egyptians, the Incas, the ancient, you know, Australians, the American Indians, all these, the Sami people in northern
Mhm.
Scandinavia, and these are connected. You know, so they just went to different places, and there are pyramids in every single a place on the earth, not just in Egypt. And we
Mhm.
found even in Bosnia, in Europe, that there were, you know, pyramids
Mhm.
that are even greater and bigger and more ancient than the Egyptian ones. And there are pyramids also. I've seen some in Peru. There are some in Antarctica. There are some in China. They're everywhere. So, and the tunnels, that's also an incredible thing. I was in the Bosnia tunnels, and it's incredible because they go for kilometers and kilometers. Sorry, I'm in France now, so I'm speaking in kilometers, miles,
Yeah.
it's the same. Not quite, but almost. And it's incredible because you spend time there, and the air is so pure. It's like you're at the top of the Alps. And yet you are underground. There's no ventilation that you can recognize or see, and yet the air circulates, and there is always this, even like in the tunnels of Bosnia, it's 12.5 degrees Celsius all year round, no matter what is going on above. And people, and for example, in the Grand Canyon, what they found were like those, it's actually not just a cave, it's a whole city, and a city that could contain at least 50,000 people. So why? What was going on the surface of the earth? Why did people have to go underground? And what is going on in those underground tunnels? Because I am the most claustrophobic person you ever met. And yet, when I was in Bosnia, in the dark, in those tunnels, I never ever felt scared, ever. I felt actually really comfortable. I could have even slept there. I was like totally at ease and felt really, really good. And I'm claustrophobic, like bad, like really bad. So this and those, and for example in Transylvanian Sunrise, this book where they talk about exactly what you are talking about, Lauren, the Sphinx in Romania. And there was a story of this guy who traveled inside and landed in Egypt. And they are interdimensional. The time and space don't function the same way. Then there's the same story that somebody, you know, entered a tunnel in Argentina and landed in Machu Picchu, and
Mhm.
was not gone for as long as it would take to walk that distance.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that have been suppressed. Our history, and I'll talk about the Smithsonian Institute that has been, you know, wanting to keep the history in a certain way. And look at what we have even discovered now in Egypt, that there is a whole huge amount of a city underneath the Sphinx, underneath the pyramids, and the pyramids are just the top of the iceberg, like a small top of the iceberg, because the real
Mhm.
stuff
Mhm.
buried way beneath. So why has this been suppressed? And I saw this in in Bolivia, when I was in Pumapunku and Tiwanaku, they were doing excavations, and I could tell they were excavating. First of all, nobody could approach, of course, but we could see from afar, and it was very clear what was going on. They were taking notes of exactly what they were finding, and then they were putting it back, but in a different order. So they were breaking the codes, which is also what happened in Egypt when they transported those temples higher up because of the Nile, because of this or because of that. I suspect there was a different reason, which was to break the code so that people like us cannot go there and get information because the information has been distorted. Why is it being distorted? What are we being kept from? And that's a very important question to ask.
Yes.
Breakthroughs.
Yes, we are being kept from our ascension from this vibration that we know, right? The temples in Egypt were there for initiations, for us
Absolutely.
to
And they were
Mhm.
not tombs at all. Like I went even in the Red Pyramid, which is a pyramid that most people never go to. It's extremely physical because you have to basically crawl the whole way forever. And then you get inside and there's really nothing. And you get all the way to the top and there's really nothing. And you're like, well, why would they build such an interesting, weird pyramid in the middle of the desert, which of course was probably not the desert at that time, for nothing? Of course, there's a reason. So, but and they are condensing energy. These were places, as you said, absolutely of initiation. These were not tombs. Like in Peru, the Mayoko, which you have those
Mhm.
supposedly funeral towers, which I have been to many, many times. And when you look at them, some of them look like they are melted from within, melted, literally, the stones melted. So these were actually power plants. These were places of
Mm.
harnessing incredible energy to shift our consciousness and make us more aware. And they were like keys that would unlock things, memories that we had inside of us because it's not our first incarnation. I don't think so. We've been around many times.
Not in a while here. But there's always more, isn't there? Always
And
more.
that's what's fun. And people ask me like, I mean, when is the work on ourselves stopping? I said, never, never.
Yeah,
Right,
And that's the
right.
joy, that's the adventure of life. That's what keeps us going. And there's always another layer and another layer and another
right,
layer.
right. I get a kick out of people when they say they're going to retire, and I'm like, what?
I know.
What
No
does that really mean? I mean, like, I have no intention of ever stopping what I'm doing,
Or
and
people who tell you
it's just getting, it's just
it's a
getting
last,
good after many,
I
many
know.
years.
Or people who want to, this is my last incarnation. Well, why? Why do you want this to be your last incarnation? There's so much more to discover and come back. And the more wisdom we acquire lifetime after lifetime, the more fun and wonderful our next incarnation is going to be. So why would we want to stop now that we're ahead?
Okay.
San Ra, I want to give you a moment to share some thoughts.
Yeah, my head's going ding, 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 ding. But you know what? I think that with all of these things that we're saying, they're breaking the codes and not let us see that, although that is true, we
Isn't
that's not the only way for us to get all of these codes and ascension codes. Because I think with all of our connections individually and then together, and as we come together with all of our different knowledge base, all of our different star base, star cosmic knowledge base, we we bring all of that together, so it really allows it to open up the codes within us, the codes that come down, like the priestesses are always bringing encoded beams of light. Okay. And this is from Lemuria, but remember, everybody from Lemuria is from the stars. So whatever is in the pyramids or whatever, sacred spots, all that stuff is in us. Maybe not every single thing, and that's why we come together. So so we bring that, Michelle, all that you have in there, because I can see it all floating around in you, all that you bring, and that all the Lemurian stuff, all the cosmic stuff, all the Arcturian stuff, all the whale stuff, all of that comes together so that whatever they're keeping from us, they cannot stop us
Absolutely.
from moving forth. We cannot be stopped. We are empowered, cosmic, beautiful, divinely guided, led, and have that capacity within us. So as we come together in these kind of things, then so much more awakens. It's like our divine sparks are just, igniting. And that's where our divinity is, in the electrons. So the electrons, they're just igniting all over, even in this introductory talk, right? It's like we're already starting. So I think it's amazing how much will be activated and opened and catalyzed. That's my new word. It's a little different than activated, but it's one of those. But catalyzed is the new word for me. So we're catalyzing.
I am the catalyst.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
The kettles.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love, Sandra, what you said earlier, that we each have a piece of the puzzle. And indeed, those gatherings are very important, because as we come together, the picture, another picture emerges, and a picture that we have only a little part of within ourselves. I mean, we have all of it, but it is awakened by coming together as a group.
Right.
And that's the power of.
Yeah.
And especially now, it's the year of the serpent in Chinese astrology, and it's a year of cooperation. We need to cooperate together.
Coming together. Yeah. Could I wanted to say a few things, if that's okay? Is this a good moment?
Of course. Yes.
It's actually Seth coming through. She says, part of the opportunity that we went into when we decided to create this is the understanding of helping people understand unity, balance, and then the creation of 0 point. So she says, when we're there, we'll work with that and we'll help people understand the unity balance that's required, which also connects you to the balance of the Earth's Merkaba. So 0 point, this is her quote, is the underlying energetic of absolute interconnected stillness from which all experiences are born. 0 point provides clarity and allows the mind to stop offering us false realities. She says, while we're there, we'll work with the frequency of the earth and her balance, the influences of how matter is formed, and in the higher realms, we call this the Genesis code of your universe. I tell you that the human DNA is coded to remember all at 0 point. Doesn't that sound good? As the conscious mind evolves towards reaching enlightenment, the 0 point field plays a vital role, influencing the future outcome of the material world. So we can really expect to change as we move into those frequencies. So,
nice.
Thanks, Puna.
And we need that, because I think there's such a gap now, or separation between those who are and those who are not. And it's very important that the more we gather and we raise the energy, the more we are lifting the whole of humanity, even people who are particularly aware or conscious or interested in any of what we are doing. It doesn't matter.
It's exactly right.
It takes the
Yes.
light of one candle to light miles of darkness.
Yes. I love that story. The little candle in the sun, and you separate out and let your light shine,
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's saying it's a mystical experience, but it's going to help people explore their relationship in a way maybe they haven't done yet with nature. The importance of connecting through inspiration and teachings and guided meditations and going into the earth, and also learning or remembering how to create your own rituals that connect you to the elementals in your world. So important that we use our creative imaginations to interact with the vital forces we call the elementals. And for anyone that doesn't know, that means earth, air, fire, water, and ether. And connecting to the divas and the elementals will open our own amazing and unique gifts that will hopefully come online even bigger than they are now. It's time to use that energy to bring back the language of feeling. We need to come back to the feeling state of living, not the thinking.
Exactly.
So that'll be one of our goals.
Exactly.
Certainly going to do that in the beautiful scenery of nature in Sedona, Arizona, and the Grand Canyon. So fascinating. I really love it. So we invite
Oh, yeah.
everyone to join us and sign up in person or live stream. I'll be there by live stream. And when we break for lunch, we'll be doing something very special for the live streamers, a little chit
Good.
chat, a little sharing of stories and connecting in that way so that no matter how you join us, you are still a part of this beautiful sacred space. And this will all be recorded. So even those who are in person can witness what we did online as well. It's very, very beautiful. We're really looking forward to
Nice.
it. Yeah. Again, the link is in the Zoom box and it's also on the page that got you here. So check that out. If it's helpful, there's a 2 payment plan, and we hope that makes it easy for people to join in as well. Cool,
Further,
very
if
cool.
if you register and you're seeking accommodations and share ride shares, if you email, well, what you can do is contact me through the email after you register and create an email that addresses everyone and say, I'm seeking, to ride share from the airport, or I'm seeking to share my hotel room, or does anyone want to share with me? We've been really able to help a lot of people hook up that are coming to save money and also to come together, to
Yeah.
share the experience. So we're happy to do that. We won't do it for you, but if you send the email to me, I'll forward it to everybody who's registered, and then they'll connect with you personally. So that can be very helpful.
Yes, it's so cool. And new friends will be made, lifelong friendships will be made during this venture together. Thank you. I just wanted to share one thing as well. One thing that I've noticed, and we've talked a lot about, Peru and Lake Titicaca and even the pyramids, right? Isn't that interesting? When we were in Mount Shasta last year, when you come down off the mountain, there is a hidden pyramid. That's a pyramid. You know what I'm talking about, Lori, right?
Yeah,
San Ra,
yeah.
it's a
Hmm.
it's a pyramid. It's covered with dirt and trees, but it's a pyramid. And I see this even in Boulder, Colorado. I see this all over the planet. So it's just fascinating. And it's not just our imagination. So open our eyes and open our hearts to feel that.
Hmm. Hmm.
It really is amazing. And I would say this year, I wonder if people have noticed more of their own galacticness coming on board or online, right? Are we feeling more connected? Well, you beautiful ladies, you're already connected, but I'm thinking that the mainstream, no, maybe some who have just started on this journey are becoming to experience their Arcturian guides, their angelic guides. And that to me is very exciting. Like I've seen it more than ever before. So that is pretty cool. I love it. Does anyone you want to share on that, Sanra?
Yeah, yeah. I know that Dwell Cool, who is one of my guides, Tibetan Master Dwell Cool, he has told us that there is energy coming into the planet, which we know, but he's saying this is affecting people, this energy, whether they can access it fully with their thinking minds or not, it's still affecting everybody. So when we come together like this, it's like that, it breaks things open. So, because it moves through the grid system of Earth and humanity. And so I think then it helps people open whether they know they're opening or not, and that's kind of, I mean, look at the language. Do you remember 20 years ago, you never heard anybody say, well, I guess the universe planned that for me. And now you hear mainstream people talk like this.
I love
So,
it.
things are changing, even though sometimes we look at the news and we're like, oh my God. But we have to say, okay, that's just an interesting way things are coming forth, and people are still awakening in ways that maybe is not discernible except for things like this. So it's happening. It's happening. And let me say this about the Lemurian songs and chants too. As we sing these, because at the Grand Canyon, oops, I'm losing my earbud. At the Grand Canyon, we're having a sing along of Lemurian songs, and they they go into the grid system and they open things. and they open,
I got
they move,
chills.
they bypass our thinking mind and go into our hearts and into our subconscious mind. They move through the earth grid, they move through the human grid. It's like when we come together and do these things, then that energy flows through and affects everybody, whether they understand it or know it or not. So it's kind of fascinating to see how things are happening, that we're just taking the next right steps, right? But these next right steps open and catalyze and unify in ways that we don't fully understand, but it's happening. In some ways we do fully understand, but sometimes we're like, okay, I don't know how this is working, but it is.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes I doubt and I say, did we get on the wrong timeline? So
No,
this is
I think
wonderful. And
you're
and
right,
it's
Sarah.
everything's being upgraded to a new Earth
Yes.
frequency. That's what I'm
Yes.
getting. It's a
Mm-hmm.
new Earth
That's right.
frequency upgrade. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all the chaos we are witnessing, it's also the old, outmoded structures breaking down. So it's actually a
Right.
good thing, even though it looks chaotic and dark and awful. It's necessary. And that's the only way that the light can start to emerge
Mm-hmm.
from us. We have to break down the old system. It has
Right.
to. And it's self-destroying in many ways.
It
Mm-hmm.
is. The Earth is under demolition so it can be reconstructed.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
You ever been around a building that's being torn down or, a remodel? There's dust and sawdust and loud noises and,
You know,
it's
I
chaotic.
always say we are now in the sort of spinning cycle of the washing machine, you know.
Yeah.
Everything is going faster and faster, but everything is coming out like also, in enormous power. But it's because, just before dawn, the night is the
Mm,
darkest, and that's what
right.
we're experiencing.
Yeah.
New architecture is coming in, connecting us to the dimensions and our own multidimensionality, our understanding of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so much more than just this
And
one
have you
Earth life, how that
noticed
all
also
connects.
that
So
there's more and more divine couples forming? Have you noticed that? That there's
Yes.
more and more divinely connected people falling in love with each other and recognizing each other.
Our
And
love
it's
is
Mm-hmm.
expanding. Yeah.
like a relationship, it's the relationship. Have you seen that?
I think it's interesting that when you meet somebody, which happens often for me, that's what I call in the soul family, these people we've been other lifetimes with, that
Mhm.
you don't have to really get to know each other. You don't have to go out and have coffee or have several get togethers where you kind of like feel each other out. You just pick up
Mm-hmm.
where you left off and you start talking about cosmology, basically, and it's like, it's so
Mm-hmm.
great. We can
It's
expect
so
more and more of
funny.
that because the memories,
And it's so
are
funny
great.
saying that, Laurie, because I'm in France right now and I met this woman like we just met 2 times and all of a sudden she's like, oh, darling this, darling that. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry, we just met. And I'm like, no, go ahead. I feel the same, that we are very connected and she's my sister. I feel that. So I was not shocked at all, but she was like, oh,
Yeah,
what am I doing? What am I saying?
it feels comfortable, doesn't it? To
Yeah,
meet people that,
Yeah.
exactly.
we
Yeah.
intuitively know.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it to me, and she's not particularly conscious, but she said, I feel I've known you forever. And I'm like, I feel the same. So yeah, go ahead. No, not a problem.
Beautiful.
beautiful,
Um,
beautiful.
I think I think Mare has
Mar,
a question.
Mare.
You see
Yes.
her?
Hi, Mare. Hi, Mare.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm just being activated, being in all of your
Yeah.
presences. I love it. I love it. Um, I have a couple of things that I'd like to share. First of all, what Puda said, the the 0 point being the still point of all interconnection. And sometime in the last week, when I was meditating in that very, very still 0 point, and I live in a a busy little neighborhood in Denver, and all of a sudden, at some point, like maybe an hour into my breathing, I was I went into a silence that is indescribable, really. It was every and I was humming and just whatever came to me. But the entire neighborhood, the land, the machines, the birds, every single thing was in a stillness that just, I don't know, just vibrated throughout. And I was told that I was singing a lullaby to the earth.
Nice.
It was like I've never had an experience like that before. It was so beautiful.
Wow.
Another Sun Ra, and I love that you're saying we're going to get this in so many of the priestesses and beyond. So we'll get these codes.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
just have one really quick question though. Vivian was on, and I just love her too. And Michelle, I'm so happy to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
um, but Vivian was talking about cyborgs, I thought, and the Grand Canyon, and about teaching them or whatever. And anyway, I had a being in the last year appear at night in my bedroom. And that's what I got, a cyborg. And I was afraid. So I told them to go away. Do you
Hmm.
He's cutting out. We can't hear you, just so you know.
do any of you recall what she said?
Yeah, no, not me.
I
Mm-mm,
don't
I don't.
specifically think that I can tap into that right now. Yeah. It'll be something to maybe
Okay.
explore at the event, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Was
Mayor.
talking.
Ooh, did you guys
Interesting.
hear? I muted myself. There was a big thunderclap.
You, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Wow.
So,
Yeah, okay.
but I am with you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank
Love you.
you. Love you. Thanks for joining us today and sharing your questions and insight. Love it. Okay, cool. Well, again, we invite everyone to join us. Check the link in the Zoom room or wherever you're watching and listening to this video. And we look forward to seeing you there. Again, if you cannot join in person, it will be a magical time on Zoom in our Zoom room. And we are looking forward to making new friends with you. It's going to be fun. It's coming up in a few short weeks. So
Yeah.
I want to have everyone say goodbye. Let's start with Michelle.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about this event, and I'll be flying back to the US for it. And I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. And Ra, thank you.
no, so happy to be here and so happy to like start the energy in a next level of its, you know, cooperation. Thanks to having me. I can't wait.
And Lori, thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to share this invitation, from our hearts to your heart, and extend this sacred invitation for you to upgrade your DNA and expand your consciousness, move into deeper levels of enlightenment. And so important now to just further awaken to the energy and the connection to nature. It's so huge in our ability to love ourselves and connect to our own divine
Absolutely.
embodiment. And this is such a great place to do that. So beautiful as we experience the power and the majesty of the red rocks and the ancient vortexes and stargates that we'll be connecting to. So blessings to all of you. We hope to see you there.
Yes, thank you all.
Mhm.
We look forward to this beautiful sacred time together. Thank you all for watching. Namaste.
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 Okay, here's our beautiful bye-bye. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.
Okay, Nancy.